regarding diet and inflammation connection. Some doctors promote low carb because a high carb causes inflammation, but the Gerson therapy, Dr. Gonzalez and Chris Beat Cancer, Chris Work, all promote carrot juice and fruits. What do you think?
This is a great question. Diets are confusing, and it is because we are all different. And so that would go back to that gut permeability thing, right? So if you happen to eat a bunch of carrots on the same day that you got in that car accident, or your teenager stressed you out, or you had that thing at work or whatever, or you had an injury, or like me, right? I got injured and it was winter and I just wanted to drink coffee with heavy cream. That's all I wanted. I was drinking all the heavy cream. And then a couple months later, my body was like, no dairy, not done. So I accidentally kind of induced a dairy sensitivity in myself by consuming too much of that thing while I was in an inflamed state. So I believe in rotating foods. I think it's really helpful for your body. I am a huge fan of seasonal eating and like Ayurvedic concepts. I know some chefs that work in that way and work with food sensitivities, which I think is great. But I think of food in categories, right? So if I really simplify it down, like this is going to be simplified, but carbs, energy, fats, sustainable energy, and building your cells and your neurons. Protein, building your muscles and running enzyme pathways, including detoxification and building your neurotransmitters, not just muscles, like they're important. Sugar, treat only. We're really only supposed to have access to it exclusively at certain times during the year. And fruits and things like that, antioxidants. Natural sugars. I'm more okay with natural sugars. I prefer low glycemic, but one of the reasons that they promote a lot of those things is because they have like beta carotene and polyphenols and different things that are beneficial and protective to our cells. Like blueberries have a ton of antioxidants, and they actually can help kind of promote our own natural stem cell production. So that is why those things can be beneficial in those cases. Because if you think about, so for cancer is basically your body dealing with some excess damage. So one of the best things that we can do is really protect the remaining cells while also gently facilitating our detox pathways. Obviously, there's also a ton of different cancers. So always speak with your practitioner about it, because different things help different types, and it just depends on the cells that you're dealing with. Like glutamine can be really healing for the gut, and it can actually be inhibitory to some cancers. It can also be a growth promoter in other cancers. So it just depends on the person. But when it really comes back to you. But if I were to, not knowing your test results, if I were to orient someone to a more anti-inflammatory diet, I think about paleo and Mediterranean. So for myself, I'll just share a little bit of like my experience. At one point, so I was injured, kind of got repetitively injured, had a huge emotional stressor, and then accidentally had a big mold exposure in my apartment that I didn't know about. And basically became allergic to everything, including supplements, as a functional medicine provider. So I went through this whole journey of like not being able to use my own tools and having to really figure out how to do stuff with my life. And my body went through a ton. Like I lost a bunch of weight, my hair was falling out, and it was because my body was in this like shock state. So the first thing I had to do, going back to our little healing cycle that we were talking about, I had to get my body out of shock. So I worked with providers that did nervous system work and body work and got my body back into a place where my brain wasn't going like haywire. And then I stopped all nutrition, just kind of let my body reset. And then I started eating the few things my body was okay with, because at the time I had continued to push. And this was my body and the universe basically being like, you're going to sit, you're going to drink water, you're going to eat these 4 nutrient dense foods, and you're going to meditate. And like, that's what we're doing. And so with that, I just started focusing on protective foods. So, antioxidants, vegetables, proteins, sometimes nuts and seeds. But if you are histamine sensitive and you're dealing with like itchiness and allergy type systems, sometimes histamine foods might not be the best thing for you, which is sadly things like fish and avocado, like stuff that we think is really great, but it depends on what your body's going through. And I'll find sometimes people will accidentally push their histamine pathway without knowing it. So this is where I'll teach people to be like, well, are you itchy or are you puffy? Like they're kind of 2 different pathways. And so or does that bloat you? which lets you know like, your gut might not be ready for it yet. Or if you take a probiotic and it bloats you, your gut might not be ready for that yet. But when we think about and go back to like those simple food categories, so like kind of carbs, energy, so maybe do in moderation. Fats can also kind of promote ketogenesis, which is helpful. However, one of the things about keto is if you're really struggling with energy, or like your hair is falling out, or you're doing keto, it's not the right thing for you right now, because it means that your cells are in a state where your mitochondria might be struggling to use fat for fuel. And if you can't use the fat, then if you're only eating a keto diet, it can almost mimic something like diabetes, where it's like you're starving in a sea of plenty. Like you have all the fuel, but you can't use it. And that's essentially what diabetes is, right? Like you have all the sugar and all the fuel, you just don't have the insulin correct to be able to use it in your cells. So this is why it's really different for different people. But if you're in a state where you're trying to protect a lot of your cells, like, yeah, antioxidants are great. I wouldn't necessarily go pound white bread for your carbs, but I think like doing carrots and blueberries and things with color is a really good place to focus. Like, so easy thing to think about with antioxidants, eat things that are colorful. And with vegetables, the nice thing about vegetables is they pull toxins out. So all the fiber, they feed your microbiome and it binds toxins and pulls it out of the gut. So that's where veggies are helpful. But, I also have a patient who has ulcerative colitis and cannot do vegetables, and he's on the carnivore diet and it's working really well for him. So different people, different stages, what's the body doing? And this is where, I'll run a food sensitivity test and I'll run a gut test. But mostly I really focus on teaching people how to listen to their body, because I think it's one of the things that gets skipped and they just get put on this protocol and no one's like, well, you should see if you're puffy when you wake up. Do you have puffiness under your eyes? Do you have bags under your eyes? Are you tired? Do you have a headache? Like, do your joints hurt? All of those things can be reflective of your body responding to something that it ingested. So that was a long-winded answer, but hope that helps.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that's why sometimes just even doing a food journal, just a simple food journal, what did you consume? What are you noticing? And then even the times, like to try to determine exactly what was it, especially when you are in that healing phase, because like you said, before you know it, you think you're doing great. And then an incident emotionally will happen and it'll throw things off again, because then the histamine, reaction just starts. And there's almost like a hyper reactivity that happens within our body and our gut. And we may not even be recognizing it unless we're taking that time to listen to our body, because our body speaks to us all the time and our cells are always listening to whatever it is that we do and say, especially to ourselves, about ourselves.
And I will also say you can have insulin dysregulation and blood sugar dysregulation without being overweight. It can have a lot to do with your adrenals and how you manage stress for yourself. And I can sit here and like tell people to meditate, but it's hard. And so I also acknowledge that. So if you are a person that like stresses out a lot and you kind of get that fight or flight, or like someone closes the car door and you jump, like that tells me that you're in a little bit of a state where your adrenals are probably working too hard. And you might be that person where you really benefit from body work, and the body work might help balance your blood sugar.
Yes. Love body work. I think everyone should have body work.
If you maintain your car more than your body, you might want to reflect on that.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's the thing. How many of us drive around as if our check engine light is on, right? Because our body's telling us something in the ear and we're like, nah, we're fine. And we just keep going. And
that's what pain is. And people forget about that. Pain is your check engine light. If you have chronic pain, chronic joint pain, like, yeah, sometimes it's arthritis, but also arthritis gets worse when you're inflamed. So if you decrease your inflammation, it will probably improve.